So, algebraic expressions. So, how are y'all doing in math over there? Good? You good? Okay, so how are y'all on these expressions?
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So, what?
Somewhat good.
So? Okay. Alright, so we're going to do a few of these. So, we're going to do number 2, number 4, 8, and 10. 2, 4, 8, and 10. So, we're going to circle 2, 4, 8, and 10. These right here are baby ones that we're going to should get, so we're going to do them. Okay, so have y'all progressed on those over there? If y'all did these things, okay, so go ahead and do your best on these 4, and then we're going to talk about them and see what we need to work on, okay?
Do we put them in equation form?
Well, you can't put an expression in equation form because it's an expression, okay? Put them in expression form, yes. So I'll give you about a minute and a half or 2 minutes or so, and then we're going to look at it. Let me close the door. Okay, so we're going to take about 30 more seconds. So are we done yet? Okay, so about 30 more seconds. Okay, so this is how I go about it, okay? So when you got your words here, okay, your little statement or your expression or whatever, how I translate it is I write it right above it, okay? So 9 divided by S, okay? So now in the 6th grade, in middle school and high school, you're going to get to a point where you're all going to not use that, really, and you're not going to use that for multiplication, okay? Now the purpose is the fraction bar is division. This means A divided by 6. Okay? When you've got something side by side like that, that means 4 times A. So we don't need. You wouldn't use that because you would use a variable in high school because a lot of times an X in middle school and high school is a variable itself. So you can't use that. So it'd be 4 times X. You see what I'm saying? See how weird that looks? So you don't use X. Okay? But a lot of math books use X as a variable. Okay? So this right here is kind of acceptable right now. What you need to progress to by 7th grade is something like 9 divided by S. Okay? This is fine for 6th grade, okay? But at the point by the end of the year, which is coming up pretty quickly, we need something like this. Okay? Alright, the sum of P and 4. Now, most things you're going to go right above it, okay? Some things you kind of got to interpret a little bit, kind of like read between the lines. Y'all ever heard that old saying, read between the lines? Things like that, okay? So the sum does mean add P and 4, okay? So it's not plus P4, okay? The sum kind of goes in between those, okay? The sum of P and 4, all right? Take away 7 from W. So this is kind of a little tricky. So you got some words like it's greater than, less than, more than. Those words, when they're in a statement, you have to flip your terms, okay? And we know what terms are, right? Algebraic terms? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, somebody want to tell me what an algebraic term is?
I know what it is, but I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, how you truly know it is when you can explain it. Okay? So you might give me examples, but that doesn't necessarily really show that you know it as well as you need to, okay? So an algebraic term. Okay, what's a numeric term? What does the word numeric sound like?
Number.
Okay, so it is a number term. Okay, that's a numeric term. It's numbers, no variables. That's an algebraic term. Why is it an algebraic term?
Because it has the letter.
Has a variable, has a letter that's a variable, yes. Okay. Numeric term, algebraic term. Okay, makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Which one of those is a numeric expression?
The top one.
Top one. Okay. So the other one's got to be a
Numerical term. No,
algebraic term.
yeah.
Okay.
Algebraic term.
Algebraic expression. Okay. And you notice there's no equal signs, right? Okay. So an equation's got equal signs. An expression doesn't have equal signs, and we'll go over that here in a few minutes too. Okay. All right. So kind of sidetrack there a little bit. Okay. So take away 7. So take away. What do you do when you take something away?
Subtract.
Subtract. Okay. 7 from W. Okay. So there again, we have to kind of understand that the subtraction sign has got to go in between there. Now, technically that's wrong. Okay. So you got to have something before you can take something away from it. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Even though when you write above it what it is, which I advocate, technically it's this, because when you got take away, you have to flip it too. Okay. So there's certain terms in these expressions that you've got to understand, that you've got to flip your terms, okay? So when we say, what are the terms in that expression? What are the terms? In that expression right there, what are the terms?
How I wrote it, it's just
So in this right here expression, what are the terms?
W
W's one term,
is
7's another term, okay? So terms are separated by subtraction signs or addition signs. Okay? And the more you get into, so this is basically kind of like pre-algebra is what we're doing this year, okay? Kind of right now. As you get into algebra, like in 8th and 9th grade, you'll need to know this stuff. So as long as you're progressing towards that knowledge, you're fine, okay? All right, 6 is added to K. 6 added to K. Technically, again, we have to change it because you got to have something before you can add something to it. So if you had $5, okay, can I take away $5 before you got $5? No, okay. So if it was 5 taken away from K, okay, you would have to have something before I could take something from it, okay. So the more you practice on these things, the better off you'll be. It just takes practice, okay? All right, so any questions about these? Does everybody understand
No, sir.
how we got what we got?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so let's do number 1. Circle these or whatever you gotta do. 5. 6. Let's work on those 3. I'll give you about 2 minutes or so to work on them, and then we're going to discuss them. Okay? Does anybody need me to leave this up here?
No.
what did I say, number 1 and what else?
1, 5, 6.
Six is confusing.
Some of them are confusing. Okay, are we done? Good.
I haven't finished 6.
Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and pause on that. We'll give you a few minutes at the end of this to do that. Okay, so then again, okay, tell me what I need to put up here.
Put 6 above the 6. At less you put minus. And then at 9 you put a 9. And times.
So what do we do about that?
X.
Well, we don't do the X.
And C.
And also kind of like, y'all might have not been shown this, it kind of looks like a 2. So in middle school and high school, when you're in math, put the line in between it. That lets everybody know it's a Z. Okay? All right. So normally, it would be something like this. So you put your dot there, but we know we don't have to have it once you actually fully translate it, okay? Now, so is that my final answer?
No.
Okay? So why do you say no?
Uh,
Why do you say no?
maybe you have to do the 9 with the thing.
9 with the thing.
What's, I don't know what it's called.
Z?
Yeah, the Z. Maybe you have to do something like that.
Well, what are we going to do with it?
You gotta read them, yeah.
What we got to do with it?
Me, I think you have to switch around.
So why we got to switch it around for? Okay. Does anybody else, can they help us out here? This is one of those terms right here that tells us,
Wouldn't it be 9? Wouldn't it be like Z 9? Oh, I see.
you flipping the terms. You're
So
not
9?
you're flipping the terms, not this. In algebra, you always want the number first and then the letter second. Okay? No, if you did flip it, yeah, but this is in math, in middle school and high school, that's like unacceptable. That's like kindergarten stuff. You don't know. Okay? And y'all are learning that now. So when you get in Miss Elliott's class next year, you know that the number comes before the variable when they're side by side like that. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? Like I said, there's a lot of terms, and I think she's showing y'all less than, greater than, more than, all those kind of words like that, those little phrases. Make sure you have to flip your terms. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Did she tell y'all that? Okay, all right. All right, now, let's do this one.
9.
Q, yeah, this is a Q. Okay? All right, so do we need to do anything from it, for it, to it, anything? Okay, she's going to answer right now. Do we need to flip it? Or yes or no? Okay, so you're saying it should be like that, right? Because y'all listen to this, okay? 9 is subtracted from Q. Am I taking 9 from Q on this right here?
You're checking Q from
No.
9.
No.
You're taking 9.
That would when I take Q from 9. It says 9 is subtracted from Q. So you gotta have Q first before you subtract 9 from it. Okay? So, there again. There's another term that tells you need to flip it. Okay? Yeah. And the only way to learn these things is to get better. We're right here. We're right here. Okay? Right here. Alright. The only way to learn these things is to do them many times. Like I told my class, I don't expect you to walk out my door this week and be experts on this. Now, for this page, we did this yesterday. I would say you should get at least 80% of it right, because it's not really that challenging, okay? I think most of the first ones we did was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
So, as long as you progress and get towards that, okay? All right, now, who wants to volunteer for number 6?
I'll take a shot.
Okay,
at it.
good. I like that. I like taking a chance. Good.
2/3 the fraction.
Okay.
Plus x. No.
Okay, hang on. I appreciate your involvement, but just hang on. Okay.
2/3 of the sum of x and the sum of x. So plus x. The product. Then wouldn't there have to be a symbol after x for it to be able to be a equation?
Well, it's not an equation, it's expression.
Yeah, an expression.
An equation is something like 3 plus 4 equals 7. An expression is something like the 3 plus 4. The root word of equation is equal. Okay? So an expression is just like expressing something, okay? It's not a finality or anything
So
like that.
you're
right?
just writing it down. You're not
Yes,
solving it.
Yes, yes. We're not to that point yet in algebra, yes.
And the product 3 minus m.
Okay, so 3 minus m. M?
W.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, on the page it says m.
It does say m?
Yeah.
That's just W. Is yours like wrong or something?
Oh
I might have copied yours upside down, but they didn't want to do that. So I didn't.
No, yours is still W.
I'm just
no, I was reading number 9.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we good there. We think we're good there. Anybody want to add anything to it? Anybody want to change anything? Anybody want to? So is that our final answer? Okay, it's pretty close. Were you gonna say something? Okay, pretty close. 2/3 of means multiply. The word of is just like the word product. It means multiply. Of x. So 2/3 of x. So we can put them side by side. We can put the dot. We can put a dot right there, and then an x is added to the product of 3 and w, which is 3 and w. Okay. Now is added to.
Oh, so there would be a plus symbol in between the things.
Okay. Now, so do we do anything different, or is that our final answer?
Final.
Okay, gotta flip it. Yes,
3W.
we're added 2/3 x is added to 3w. Okay, it's just like it's taken away from. Okay, like on number 5. You gotta have something before you take something away from it. You gotta have something before you add something to it, right? So if you've got a nice jacket, well, I'm gonna add and give you another jacket. You already got one. You see what I'm saying? And that's another one. Okay. So you gotta have something before you can be added to it. You gotta have something before you can take away from it. If you got $10, I can't get $10 from you unless you got $10, right? Okay. So you gotta have something before you can take something away. Same thing. You gotta have something before you add something to it. Okay. Any questions about these? You do?
I said no.
Okay. Questions?
Yes, sir.
Why why would you need to flip it?
Why? So this is the deal, okay? So when you're working on something and somebody's passing some information to you and you need to write it down specifically, you can't change things around, okay? So, I'll give you an example. Are these the same thing?
No.
No. Okay. What about those? Are the same thing. So I'm gonna tell you how these are written out. 9 divided by 3. This is 3 divided by
Just
9. So these two they're flipped. Exactly. So how something is written is how you write it down. Okay? You can't say 9 divided by 3 and write that down. Okay? That's 3 divided by 9. See how those are opposites? It all depends on how everything's written down. Okay? And this is y'all's first foray into things like these. Y'all are used to just numbers and symbols and things. Okay? This is algebra. It's a complete different world. Okay? Alright. So we're gonna do some more of these tomorrow. And then we'll do some more Friday. Hopefully. Okay? But we're actually I think we're gonna have like a little fun quiz on that Friday. Okay? So any questions on these?
No, sir.
Yes.
I think tomorrow's Thursday.
No, today's Thursday.
But they added a day to this week. So today's Wednesday again, so tomorrow's Thursday and then next week's Friday.
He's messing me up.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Alright. Y'all have not been privileged to